Hey, my wonderful, wonderful, beautiful people, a pleasant Sunday afternoon to you. If you have not yet made Jesus Christ your personal Lord and Savior, feel free to do so. He's the best being ever. Certainly, that would be the best decision you could ever make. Now, my beautiful people, I want you to listen to me and listen to me keenly because it can save your life, literally and figuratively. So I was listening to a popular TikToker talking about the Jolan Silvera's saga. I don't know if you remember the former politician who was alleged to have annihilated his wife using a weapon, and the residue or the in the aftermath, let me put it that way, it was recognized and discovered that her anatomy, that is where the weapon was used. So she got shots in her private area, in her vulva, in her vagina. And the TikToker was actually alluding to the fact that he was told, he said by credible sources, that she had given her husband a jacket. You know, apparently I didn't even know that the child had mysteriously drowned. And I don't know, I don't like the mix up. It was just a whole, in a blender situation. What bothered me by that TikToker though is that he said if what he was told is true, then Mr. Silvera had all right to annihilate the woman, and he could do it many times over, and that God should have mercy on him, and he went on, "Oh, women too wicked to be doing that." And I realize also that, this jacket thing is ranging from politicians to athletes to dancehall artists, and it's going on and on and on and becoming an epidemic because it is really, really ugly in our land. Now, some time ago, I was reading the newspaper, and it made a comparison between us and one of those other African countries. We are, for example, 34%, and they're at 30%. We are the highest among the jacket rates given in Jamaica. And it's very difficult for me in comparison to the country, because Jamaica is a small country, in comparison to, that African jurisdiction, location, or country, not to say that it is right for us to be living such a life. I've alluded, that there are many reasons as to why this jacket thing is real. And without even batting an eyelid, or without even the basic baby who was just born could realize it, that maybe majority of them are born out of wedlock or in somebody else's wedlock, meaning it's a married man's child. And obviously she can't get up and say that this child belongs to this married man, or this man who is in a committed and officially committed common law relationship. So it has to be kept under the quiet. Maybe at a more minute angle, it could be incest. Maybe some relative, impregnated this person. It is embarrassing to get up and say you were impregnated by an uncle or cousin, especially if the child has come out normal, and there are other reasons as well, but I'm giving the two major reasons as to why you probably have a plethora of this jacket going around, because you have quite a number of people being involved in extramarital situations, and it contributes to that. And one of the things that we have to be careful as a people, that this country is becoming very, it is as I hate this sort of phenomenon. And this atmosphere that we're in, this jacket atmosphere, has risen up its ugly head, and it is now, strangling the life of our women, literally and figuratively. This is Buto, it is Zutopek, this needs to stop. We need to make our calling and election sure. We need to get our act together, because this is horrible to be hearing consistently, And if what was said about that politician, it now would add up, I said, because it always puzzled me, when I heard that the woman got shot in her private area, Said, why would you do something like that? And then when I heard this, I said, oh my God, this is horrible, you know. And if it comes out to be true, it can be considered crime of passion. Ladies, 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 there seemed to be this combative war between men and women. I don't know where it is from. Misogyny, misandry. So misogyny is the women hating on the men, hating on the women. The misandry, the women hating on the men. It is ugly. God did not create us to be this way. We are created to balance each other out, to be each other's. I mean, yes, the woman is a helpmate for the man, but you also balance and you protect the woman. And we are not enrolling in any of the roles that God has given us. So the men are not being the protectors, they are being the annihilators, and the women are not being the helpers, they are being hindrances to these men. You know, the jacket thing cannot come about with just the woman. It involves a man. So men, while you are angry at the woman, it still involves a man. It still involves your immediate what should I say now? Your male, I can't say counterpart, because counter means opposite too. So, you know, he runs in tandem with you as a male one, as a male person. So get that straight. It's still a male involved. So whilst blaming the woman, it's still a male involved. The male is as culpable as the woman is. She could not get that jacket, tie, and shirt and blouse by herself. And ladies, this thing about the man saying it feels better, bareback, nonsense. I'm not encouraging anybody to involve in extramarital affairs, but I realize we live in a broken world and that will not stop. Protect yourselves, mitigate it. Don't put your lives at risk. Men are not as emotionally intelligent and strong as women. That is why they lose cool that way. I remember reading in the Bible, I think it's somewhere in Proverbs, somewhere in the Old Testament, I remember, where it says, do not take a man's wife. Nothing can cool him. His anger burns. You know, that the flip side would be a woman scorned. When you burn a woman, it's like the worst thing you could ever do. It's like aggravating a Jezebel. When you take a man's wife, it's similar. When it says whether a wife, his main girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, somebody that he loves dearly, nothing, you can't pay that man off. You can't ask him to just settle and cool. He doesn't have that emotional grit and tenacity to hold out, whilst the woman can. If you notice, when a woman finds out that the man cheats, I'm not saying more often than not, she will stay than he will stay if he finds out that she cheats. Because they come with this, that men can cheat without having any lovey-dovey feeling for the woman. It's just a release. And they know that if the woman cheats, there must be some sort of emotional attachment and connection. So it bothers them. And it bothers them if they think the man performs better. You know, and men, they pride themselves in their performance. No matter how educated or dunce a man is. They pride themselves if they are great performers in the bed. Don't make no ghost fool a lady, whether they're uptown, downtown, or around town. So emotionally, they are not as tough as us. Physically, they are. The God has made them physically stronger than us, generally speaking. But emotionally, we have the tenacity. So we will bawl and we will cuss and quarrel and go on the most way. You know? And then we come back to a sense of normality. The man can't, ladies. That is why oftentimes when they find out that a woman cheats and has a child outside of that relationship, he can't stay. And oftentimes, sometimes a woman will welcome that child and take that child as her own. You know, so ladies, protect yourselves. The men are not being our protectors. And you have some that are championing the causes of being against us. Men cannot even like women and still sleep with them. That's why I said, don't run with this ideology that it is because they're hiding their own sexuality. Not necessarily. There is trauma in some of them, but they still have the sexual attraction to the woman. So they won't go to a man. They don't want a man. But they have this anger towards women because they have been burnt by women. You know? Although they have not looked at themselves how over the years they have burnt women through cheating and bad treatment, abuse of all forms. Anyway, guys, you know what to do your TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of them lie on there and fix on a relationship. Stop the cheating.